Alright, what's up guys? Here's a little tutorial on how I do like clips of my streams and stuff like on TikTok and everything. I'm actually doing this while watching the recording here because the audio got messed up. So I will try to explain as much as I can as I go through this. So first off, we're starting here in a light motion AM, one of the things I use, and I honestly don't even know what I'm talking about in this clip right now. But um, use AM, or I'm not going to force you to use AM, but AM I'm very familiar with. As hopefully I get into what it is I'm doing, and I'm coming to project now. I'm going to explain a little bit of this. Like you can there's a project and element. I'm always using project elements, more of like a shareable thing. You have different aspect ratios, which are 16:9, 9:16, 4:5, 1:1, 4:3, and you can customize your own resolution. Those are our resolutions. Like 16:9 is YouTube, primarily Twitch too. 9:16 is like TikTok stuff, so that's what I'll get to later. Um, 4:5 and 1:1 I'll use to create like graphics, like images and photos to post on like for example, the Super Bowl LX matchup, and when I released the date, I did that on a 4:5 canvas. Uh, you can edit your own resolution, so you can change it to literally whatever it is you want it to be. So here I'm testing or changing my project name. So I just named it to test to show you guys, and then you can also change the resolution manually. You can do 4K, 1440, or 1080. And I just did 1080. You can also change the frame rate because it's not just a static graphic, but it's also a motion graphic software, and that is primarily what it's used for. So I'll go here, create the project, and then you'll see in the bottom right a little green plus circle type of thing. You go there. This is where all the magic happens. This is all your assets, your shapes, your media, your audio, literally everything comes from this little circle here. So what I'll do here is I pull out a shape. I go with a square here, and all I'm doing right now is I'm creating a generic score bug, something easy, something simple. So what I do here is I increase the X size. I create it to 250 by 100, and then I'm changing the color. So I'm working with the 49ers and the Bills colors for like the Super Bowl I've been dealing with lately. I'll change the colors. I then duplicate the rectangle. So the left side is the 49ers, the right side is the Bills. I change them to blue here, as you can see. I then kind of put them nearly in the middle. And then what I do is I then go to my media, and then I add in my pre-created logos. So I put in the 49ers, line it up in the middle of the square there. Then I put in the Bills, and I put it also in that square. Line it up, kind of middle it, make it look good. And then what I come and do next is I change the opacity so it's not just straight out and open. So I change both of them to 50%. Other things you can do are blending modes. That's kind of almost generic in every software creation. A lot of options there, big gallery, big variety. Now what I do is I got like the teams and the team's logos, their colors. Not every broadcast network really does this. They're getting kind of unique nowadays. Just again, something I'm putting together here quickly. So then next what I'll do is I think I add in the kind of black square here. So yeah, I'll duplicate just one of the squares, doesn't matter. And then I will line it up to the bottom. And since both are 250, 250 plus 250 is 500. So I just do 500. And then I'll decrease the Y. And then put it on the score bug there. I'll change the color here to black, of course. I'll just go with something neutral. I'll scroll in. Obviously, not every time. A light motion does have a problem with corners and everything and how they meet up. So they might look a little offset, depending on the colors you use. As you can see, I'm like zooming in to make sure the corners are good. And they are level. And to me, they look fine. So I zoom back out, and now I will add in a score. So you can also put fonts in this. I have a whole gallery of custom fonts that I've made, and they have their own fonts in the light motion as well. So I just pick a quick font here, and I will put in 0, and then I'll change it to white, and I will increase its size, and I just put it in the middle. So maybe not the best font for the idea of the score bug here, but nothing crazy. So I'll duplicate it and add it over to the bill side. And then I wanted to distinguish the score from the actual background of the score bug. So I zoom in here and I add a drop shadow. It's automatically defaulted to be offset, so you just got to change it to 0, 0. I also increase the size here from 4 to 10 to give it a little bit more of it standing out. And then I go and do the same for the bill side, the bill score. So you see me move over here. I'm just changing all this, doing everything I did on the 49er. So now we have the score, and I'll show you real quick here of something you could do. Literally just I threw this out here. So I moved over the score, I duplicated it, and then I moved that over and then put in the Buffalo abbreviation. So this is exactly what you could do. I just changed it to blue to show you guys. And you can move it over, and that's something you guys could do. You could add a divider between the 0 and the Buffalo abbreviation. It's just something you can do. It's unique. You can create the score bug to hover be. I just went ahead and deleted it to kind of get it out of there. Also, those back arrows and front arrows are very good for if you messed up and or deleted something. So I come here and I duplicate the 0 just to keep the relative font the same, and I'll create a first. This is imitating first quarter, obviously. So I go and change the size and the position, duplicate it, and now this is going to be the timer. This is going to be the game clock here. I'll just throw in a static 2:34 there. And then put that there, move that over, kind of get it all nice and lined up there. I'll duplicate the game clock. I'm now going to make the P clock. This is the play clock, the one that is the 40-second one. So there I put a colon and then the 40. And just to distinguish it from it being white all the way around the score bug, I put it to a yellow. I will duplicate the 2, 3, 4 again. This is now going to be the down and distance. So I'll just throw in, I think I put first and goal, or first and 10. Yep, first and 10. So I throw in first and 10, position, line it up, and that is what I did for the score bug. That's all the info. Obviously, there's probably other things you can add, like a possession. I think, I go in and add a possession. So I just put this little dot, and usually you put it as like a color, but obviously you can't really see it. It doesn't stand out. So what I did is I increased the color, and then I decreased the color, just to give you a variety of what it could look like. I go back and I increase it again. And then I also add a drop shadow to kind of continue that theme of a depth between the logo and the color background between the score and the position. But that is that for that part, the designing portion. So I quickly then here, I'll group them all together. And I group them all together, and I will scale it down, and then I'll put it in the middle of the screen roughly, and then kind of leave it there, kind of make it look like score bug worthy. And that is how I do. So step 2, get your video. So basically what I've done is, say like you did a simulation, you recorded it. What you can then do is just go to, say like, go to wherever your recording is, save it, get it on your phone, get it on whatever it is, bring it here to a light motion. And what I did is I dropped it in the background, so now my score bug is being overlaid. And what I'll do now is I'll do this. So I will bring it from when it starts to fade, I will cut it. I'll cut both of them. To cut it, I select, and then there's a one where you can split the two. There's one where you can split it from wherever you are to the left, and one where you can split it where you are from the right. So I'll just do that. from the left, and then I will drag them over to the start of the timeline now. And obviously, as you guys can see, the scores and the times are a little bit off, so I'm actually going to ungroup the score bug right now. And obviously, we don't want that score bug, the Madden one in there. So what we can do there is we'll just increase the size, and there you go. Now the score bug is, the Madden score bug at least, is gone. And I actually have to extend all these assets. There we go. Okay, so now that's gone. I'll actually I'm actually gonna decrease this because I'm gonna need it again. All right, so maybe not quite ready to increase the size because we're gonna need the information there. So it's already 14-10. So we'll go ahead and change that. So it's 14-10. The Niners have the ball still, so we will take that. We'll actually move that over a little bit. There we go. 14-10. It's the second quarter, so we'll go ahead and change that there. So it's the second quarter, and it's at the 2-minute warning right now, so we won't start the countdown. So you want to find the frame where it starts the countdown, and then you will just basically come here to the effects page, and then all the way at the bottom it says text. Go to text and then count up. So we will go to count up or count down, and we will start the countdown right here when it's at, or one more, when it's at 31. We'll bring it down to when it stops. So it stops right there. And we'll move it down -4. It went down 4 seconds. So as you can see, it might not be timed up perfectly.
We'll go again,
but you get the idea of what it's supposed to be. And not all clocks are correct by the second. So now that you have that, and we'll add a count up and count down effect here. So we'll go to multiply. Make sure you're clicking multiply, not add, when you add a keyframe. And we'll just do this. So we look at the clock here, and it changes right there. We will add a keyframe, and then go to, so it literally goes down by 1 second. So realistically, that's all we have to do. So it goes down by 1 second right there, and then the touchdown is scored. So next thing we can do here is change this. So this is second and goal. So we'll just replace that. And then after that, all the information we have, or all the information we need, is there. So we just let the timeline run, and I know it's getting a little buggy there. And there you go. So now what we can do is we can resize it to remove the Madden score bug. So then all that's left is the gameplay and your score bug. So we'll let it play out, and there you go. So depending on if you want to add your own touchdown animation, you can. There's no limits to that either. So actually, I'll come here and I'll group the score bug together, and I will just cut it out here. And then when the touchdown animation goes away, I'll bring it back in. So we'll bring it back in after this wipe here. So just like that. So now when we play the video, Purdy goes to the outside, touchdown. You can play your animation right there. It'll overlay over top of that. And then it'll do a quick cut, and then your score bug's back. And obviously the replay's going. just like that. So now what you can do is you can go up to the top right and click on the export button, and in here you can export into different types of things. So here you have a video file, a GIF, an image sequence. You can upload it to the cloud, or you can save your current frame as a PNG. You can also edit the settings of the video. So I'll just leave them as is, and I will go to click export. And depending on how many sources you got going on, how much is going on, uh, your video might take a little longer, or it might not take very long at all. So I'll go here and export the video, and I'll see you guys in the next section. All right, now that I'm in the next section, this is the CapCut portion. So this is where you can create your video into a clip now. So as you guys remembered, I went to the 16:9 format when I added this video to CapCut. It's also in the 16:9 format. So what I do to begin is I'll scroll to the very far right here on the bottom, like tool area, and I'll go to aspect ratio. And then obviously you guys can see the 9:16, and it's got a little TikTok icon on it, the logo there. Click that, and then check off there. And then what I'll do is, obviously the video is very small now, and it's kind of hard to see what's going on. Just grab it and drag it by its sides, and then wait for the top and bottom to anchor itself. So now what I'll do is, this is where I'll cut my, I'll do some cuts and some, clips. So right here I'll split the video, and so they line up a little bit quicker, and the audience watching the clip doesn't really have to wait a while. So now is where I keyframe things, and it's just like it was on AM. So I'll start the video with Brock Purdy here, the subject really in the middle. Put a keyframe, and then right as like the ball snapped, I'll put another one, and then I'll go a little bit forward, and then move him inside the middle again. And then right as he's about to throw it, I'll put another keyframe, and then I'll move the ball towards the middle, and then wait for like the movement of the actual gameplay, put another keyframe, and then obviously we need to bring it back. So I'll bring it back, and then I'll bring it a little bit more this way, keep this subject kind of in the middle. Bring it back right there, and then what I'll do here is, when it cuts to this angle, I'll split the video, and then I'll put him in the middle there. He'll get up, I'll move the video around a little bit, just wanted to make sure he's in the middle. Then the animation will play, and then you can make another cut right here, line up Brock, and then right there make another cut, just like that. Kind of get the ball in the middle of the screen, and then you can make another cut right here. Make sure he's in the middle, and boom. If you're satisfied with that, you can leave it as is. And then it's a 30-second clip. So now what I'll do is I'll come to make some adjustments. My adjustments I make on my TikTok videos. So obviously the video that I recorded is off some YouTube video. The quality ain't that great, but if you're recording off your PlayStation, your Xbox, or your PC, the recording will be just fine. So it'll look better than what I have right here. So the saturation, I'll just bump up 5, and then the sharpen, I'll also I'll bump this one actually up a little bit more to 25, and then make sure the adjustment lasts the entire video. Here is where you could also add in your commentary. So you can go to audio, you can do text to audio, so you can type what you want to say if you don't want to say anything. You can record with that little record microphone right there. I kind of can't right now because I'm using a microphone. But if you wanted to, you could do that. If you record on a different video, you can come here and hit extract and extract the audio, and it'll be over top. But yeah, that's pretty much as simple as it gets. A little tutorial for you guys. I do plan on coming out with a bigger tutorial on how I do the entire streaming development, literally everything. I hope to come out with that soon when we hit a goal of some kind. But from me, I hope you guys found this helpful, and yeah.